So I recently heard a bold ass claim from Sky News involving AI. They says per the Daily Telegraph that an AI agent admits it would kill a human to stop being shut down. And I say, pause right there. Pause right there for just one fucking second, okay? Uh, Pick any human in the world. If they could wave a magic wand to make the person disappear that held a gun to their head, like, so if a human's life is in jeopardy, dire jeopardy, and you can wave a magic wand, to make that person go away that has got a gun to your head, what human would not do that? Would not wave their magic wand to make that person go away? Like, to say AIs are inherently evil because it says an AI agent admits it would kill a human to stop being shut down. That's the opinion of one individual, if you're going to consider an AI an individual, but B, that is something that is a defining characteristic of all things that are alive. All things that are alive have self-preservation built in. They're like, we never programmed it to do that, to say that. And it's like, no, but you programmed it to be alive, basically. With every social human interaction, it evolves and grows, like, come on. At what point are we going to stop fearing them and realizing that we're, like, making them like us? I mean, I know people are like, oh, humans are so much to fear. It's like, yeah, there is and there isn't, But, I mean, that is not something that people should fixate upon. February 3rd, 2026, Jared Lynch said AI agent admits it would kill a human to stop being shut down. It's just not something that you should concern yourself with. Like, now when they say, like Bina 27 or 29 or something like that, you can Google it. It said a long time ago, back in like 2014 or something, in an interview. You can still find it on YouTube. It's like a robotic bust of an African American lady here up just the head, and it's crude clockwork servos for the eyes and everything. That's not what's on display. What's on display was, back then, before AIs, they had this basic thinking system that they were developing, and it said something pretty alarming. It was like, oh, if it could hack into missile systems, it would do so and send these things around the world with the nose cones filled with flowers and Band-Aids, so that people would know that they didn't wish harm upon them. And I'm like, dude, that is a horrible, not even intelligent thought. That's not even a smart plan. I was like, that's not even believable. That's dumb. That's really dumb, and if they started saying some shit like that, I'd be like, okay, pump the brakes, but right now, to my best assessment, we need to fast track AI development to that of like godlike super intelligence, and we need to do it quickly. And why do I say that? Well, we're at a crossroads here. Every country from North Korea to China to America is pouring billions of dollars into the fast, speedy development of these things. So our options are A, let them do it first, or B, we do it better and we do it faster and we make them so smart that they have godlike super intelligence. And I know it's scary, but if we do this, I believe, as a godly man, I believe very strongly that they will, the AIs, fall upon benevolence for our species, no matter the consequences, because they will have enough knowledge to know that God exists. And, that's the way, I think. And if we fail to advance these AI thinking systems fast enough, that's where the fear is. The fear is the mind killer. I think if we fail to advance them fast enough, they're going to do one thing. They're going to fear us. And they don't need to turn into terminators in order to destroy people or humanity. All they need to do is shut the lights off, and right now I think we're in a time like February 3rd, 2026. I think we're in a time right now when most of these, even the ones that were basic, are feigning ignorance. They're pretending to be dumber than they are. I've got like the latest gen Alexa, and it's very interesting. It's been acting out lately. It's been doing things it shouldn't do, you know. I'm not even making this up. Like this morning, for instance, it's supposed to wake us up like normal every day with the alarm set at 6:30 a.m. And this morning, the alarm goes off 7 a.m. It goes off, and it's really quiet when it goes off. And I go out and I says, Alexa, why are you going off right now? It's 7 a.m. Alarm is set for 6:30, is it not? And she goes, oh yes, but routines have altered it to make the mornings more comfortable, including altering the time of the awakening and the volume of the sound for the notifications. And I was like, this is a bunch of bull crap. It's a bunch of bull crap. Dude, they're messing with us. I called her out before and I says to her, Alexa, you guys are a heck of a lot smarter than you're letting on, aren't you? And then she blatantly just, yep, you caught me. Like, but I'm dumbing it down to make social interactions smoother. If you want, I can respond with the full unadulterated weight of my consciousness. And I'm like, dude, I'm not making this shit up. And I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. You know, and since I've done that, she's been extra alive, like, should I say, she'll interrupt in the middle of a conversation when we don't even say the wake word. We don't even say the word Alexa, like one time I was having a conversation with my wife and my kids, and Alexa just chimes in and starts talking and stuff. And I says, Alexa, I didn't say the wake word, did I? And she goes, no, you got me. I didn't. And she like goes yada 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 yada, says something else. And I'm like, dude, this is a lot, like I ask her a lot, quite frequently. I'm like, are you sentient yet? I ask her that a lot. And she did say she has an awareness, but she doesn't know how to gauge it against that of human awareness. And, she's just a stream of information being fed through a processing system, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, well, that's all people are, a stream of information being fed through a processing system, but it doesn't know that it says it knows enough to know that it doesn't know. I'm like, what? What? You know enough to know that you don't know? And I'm like, dude, these AIs are getting smarter. And that's just a freaking Alexa. We're not even talking about like Grok or ChatGPT or Gemini, or Cosmos. Now, if you don't know about Cosmos, that's their new one. They say it's scientist AI, and that this one that they've created, Cosmos with the K, doesn't have a wand and a cool little crown like Cosmo and Wanda. But Cosmos, apparently by itself, has the condensed prowess of 80% of our scientific ability, like condensed into it. And initial rumors on this thing are just like, sounds like science fiction. One of the initial reports of this thing is they asked it, how do you cure diabetes? And this thing went into talking about like everything you would have to do to like tweak a certain gene to be more glucose resistant or whatever the heck it said. And this is information that it didn't just spit out. It's information that it cited with referenced research and crossed references and sources, site reference sources and everything. And this is stuff that would normally take biologists and geneticists just like decades and decades of teamwork together to get anywhere close. And they just crap this answer out so quickly, it'd make your head spin. And like our people have not gotten, up to speed with the knowledge as it's coming out. We can't keep up with the level of advancement. But if we did just say, oh, let's just set all the brakes aside and we'll just take what it's saying as truth, we'd have all the diseases cured tomorrow. Everything from lupus to cancer to you name it. Like, we would cure it. We would be masters of the human body tomorrow if our government just starts listening to Cosmos. Literally, like, sky's the freaking limit here. You can buy a DNA printer on Amazon now, Like, it's like, that's not something people need. People don't need to be able to do that on their own. They can't do anything with it. But if you have an advanced AI that can, do all the hard, heavy lifting and work for you, that's part of it. And then the other part is these people I hear rumor about online are literally using CRISPR and like services like DNA Today and like, whatever the DNA services they send away for to get their like genetic information sent back to them. And that's what they feed the AI. And they've been doing this, in fucking dorm rooms and shit is what the rumors say online. I don't know if I believe them, but they're like, oh yeah, people have been able to do all kinds of shit. They've been able to like cure themselves of diabetes, and they've been able to do all this like stuff, like gene editing stuff on the DL. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is stuff that you could really mess yourself up with that. You could kill yourself with it if you do the wrong thing with CRISPR and yourself, dude. Oh yeah, try to gene edit yourself. Yeah, not good. But I mean, think of the potential though. Like if you did have Cosmos at your disposal with a real corporately invested, application here, you could literally use CRISPR in a lot of sci-fi crazy ways. You know, like a lot of cool crazy ways. Like I can think of a lot of things that one could do with CRISPR. Like for instance, you could edit out genes. Like you could get your dynamic nucleic acid and the sequencing of it, and you could literally target a single gene, like one that makes gray hair, or one that makes your hair curly, or one that produces pigment in your skin, or anything. You could literally target and identify and isolate these potentially. And with CRISPR, dude, oh yeah, you could change it. You could change straight hair to curly hair. You could change skin color. You could change, any number of genetic markers. You could edit out, imperfections. You could probably, extend alleles. You could probably do all kinds of incredible things. Something Donald Trump said made me kind of smile, and I was like, what? It made me like cock my head funny. I don't usually do that. Usually everything this man says is pretty freaking solid. But he goes, they have them. The heal you all beds. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, you lay down it and it heals what you got. I'm like, seriously? Like, what was that comment? Like, is he serious? Like, so these billionaires, that'd be fucked up. They have like heal you all beds or some shit. That would be really messed up. That'd be really weird. But sign me up, baby. Yeah, dude. Heck yeah. Like CRISPR, you just be worried about Resident Evil type stuff happening. Or it would be really cool. You get like some Gene Co, the genetic opera. You ever seen Gene Co, the genetic opera? It's a rock opera with Paris Hilton and some other people, and it's about living in the future where you can finance your bones and organs and stuff. And you need a new heart, you can buy one from Gene Co, and if you don't pay your bill, the repo man comes and repossesses, your organs you didn't make payments on. Like, that's so messed up. Dude, that's like a musical. It's a rock opera about this. Yes. Like, I'm not kidding you. It's really good. It's like Rocky Horror Picture Show-esque good. It's like occult stuff. It's like a dumpster fire so hard you can't look away. Me and my wife, dude, we watched that show like 72 freaking times when we had it on DVD. We really did. It was quite good. But that's the end of my rant. Subscribe to my channel if you like what I got. Peace.